Building is a massive part of Minecraft and one of the best reasons to play. With hundreds of blocks to choose from, there are countless impressive builds made by talented players. But Minecraft wasn't always this varied. Back in the beta versions of the game, the block choices were severely limited and the building styles were much more basic. These are 10 extinct Minecraft building techniques. In a 3D game like Minecraft, depth is important in making good looking builds. But back in the olden days, most structures players built were too small to add significant details and had flat walls. If you didn't want to use brick or wood plank stairs for your roof, you had to use whole blocks, making them look a lot clunkier and primitive. But can I just say, I love the old door sound. Nighttime felt a lot darker in alpha and beta than does today. Back then, all you had to light up your base was torches, glowstone or lava. This meant street lamps were no more than glowstone on fences, and chandeliers were very basic and rudimentary. And with the lack of smooth lighting, this gave every room harsh shadows that really give a nostalgic vibe to Minecraft veterans like me. Glass panes were added in the Beta 1.8 pre-release, so before that, the only transparent block for your windows was a whole glass block. A way to get around this limitation and add some variety was to use fences. Back then, the hitbox of fences still took up a whole block, but this barred-off window was perfect for castles and stores. Before creative mode was a thing, people used mods like too many items to give themselves all the blocks they wanted. This was a time when having a large number of gold and diamond blocks was a big flex, so of course building an impossibly rich mansion was the first thing many young builders did, myself included. But if you wanted to be more subtle, simply placing some of these nice golden tiles on your floor really classed up a classic build. Back in beta, we didn't have stone, bricks, or any wood type other than oak. If you wanted to build a nice looking house, it was oak logs, planks, cobblestone, and stone. That was it! Stone slabs were pretty common to add variation, but with these limited block palette choices, it created the iconic early Minecraft building vibe we look back on fondly. There was a time when the only flowers in the game were roses and dandelions. Furniture in olden Minecraft was also severely limited. If you wanted to make a table, you could place a pressure plate on a fence post or use an extended piston head. These worked great but were often clunky. That's why some players also liked putting their crafting tables and furnaces in the floor. Why, you may ask? It makes more room for dancing. Stairs have been in the game since Infdev, but it wasn't until release 1.2.1 when we could place stairs upside down for more building opportunities. This meant the oldest builds in the game were limited for arches and roof designs. Most of the techniques in this video are as a result of the smaller number of blocks in the game a decade ago, but it just goes to show how many things we take for granted now. In 2011 and 12, an archaic cathedral by today's standards was once a feat of engineering, overcoming the limitations of the game to make something beautiful. In early versions of the game, there were no horses, no elytra, and not even sprinting. Moving around your world was slow and time-consuming. That's why having a minecart track going around your world was so cool. Players love these things, building complex systems with stops and architecturally designed bridges. Today we still use minecarts and roller coasters and rides, but as a main form of transportation, these have kinda died out. At least we don't have to deal with the furnace minecarts anymore. We've already been over the simple building palettes of the versions gone by, but what most players nowadays take for granted is the vast number of colored blocks too. Concrete and terracotta didn't exist back in beta, so if you wanted any builds that looked like they've been painted, you had to use wool. Whether it says roof or the hull to a ship, wool was the best choice of builders to add color to their creations. But I always thought using wool for a cruise ship hull was a pretty bad idea. Probably the most notable difference between modern and ancient Minecraft builds is scale. Everything was smaller back then, smaller rooms, narrow staircases, less space to move around. With no elytra or sprinting, it took so long to get anywhere in beta, so builds were usually more manageable size. Not to mention the world height was only 128 blocks for a long time, meaning really tall structures were impossible. Minecraft players have been able to create amazing feats of engineering, building mega structures hundreds or thousands of blocks big. The creativity of the community has reached an all-time peak, but it all started with just a handful of blocks, a small world, and a will to build. Anyway, YouTube thinks you might want to watch this video. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.